everybody, I'm Joey Core and I'm an indie author, and today I'm going to be talking real with you all. I did one of these a few weeks ago, or maybe it was last month, and I thought that I would answer the question I get asked the most, which is, what's wrong with you? I know that I've covered this in questions from readers, I've covered this in the Life of Joey videos, but I thought to put an end to getting that question completely, I would just tell you all what's wrong with me. I have several chronic conditions and I will go through them each in turn. I have type 1 brittle asthma, which is the reason for the oxygen. It was also the reason for the pump bag, which I no longer use because I'm on a new drug. I talk about the new drug in my Life of Joey videos. I talked about the process of waiting for it to be approved and then waiting for the call to get started on it. And I have now been on it almost a year and it's done wonders for me. Unfortunately, it hasn't gotten rid of my need for supplemental oxygen, but it has also cut down on asthma attacks. It has also cut down on needing to use nebulizers and my inhaler and all of that stuff. I have had brittle asthma for the majority of my life. I was born with asthma. It became brittle when I was 7, and so basically most of my life has been going in and out of hospital, varying degrees of attacks and infections and all of that stuff. So that's the first one, that's the big one. It's the one that really most people see, I guess, because they see the oxygen and they see that there's a reason for it. It's been something I've dealt with throughout my whole life and I'm okay with where I am. It's also one of the reasons why I use a wheelchair, because I don't have enough lung function to walk places. But there's other reasons for that as well, which I'll cover in the next condition, which is ME, otherwise known as chronic fatigue syndrome or myalgic encephalitis. It basically is an umbrella of symptoms and there's not really much known about it. It's one of those diseases or conditions that people hear and think, oh, I don't know much about that. So ME is not just being tired. I've had ME since I was 19, probably earlier than that, but that's when the symptoms started to manifest to the point where I could no longer hold down a job or get out of bed. ME for me manifests as chest pains, as body pains, as overwhelming fatigue. It also manifests as weakness in my legs and joints. It also manifests as a general overwhelming feeling of being drained the majority of the time. I sleep a lot, but it doesn't always feel like a refreshing sleep, and it's been something that I've learned to live with and deal with. I wasn't always in a wheelchair because of the ME and asthma. I was mostly mobile until my mid-20s, at which point I started to need more support, and I had crutches for a while, I had a walker for a while, I had a wheelchair and a walker, and now I'm mostly in the wheelchair all the time. The third condition is fibromyalgia, which is again another one of those conditions that people hear about and they're never really that sure if it's real or not, and I can assure you that it is very real. I live in constant pain. I have trigger points on my body that if you touch them they would cause me extreme pain, when on an average person that wouldn't happen. I also have problems with muscle weakness, nausea, brain fog, all of that goes together with the condition. I'm on strong painkillers because my daily pain level is usually probably at about a 6 on a normal scale, and at worst it's about a 9. I go through flares. All my conditions have the ability to flare up and make my life difficult. The fibro is another reason for the wheelchair because walking is actually painful to me. On top of that, it's added, when worked together with the ME and the brittle asthma, it's made it almost impossible for me to walk or exercise or do pretty much anything other than sitting in my chair and being. Those are the 3 big conditions, as in those are the 3 big physical conditions that you can see as such. The asthma more than most people because of the oxygen, and the wheelchair is there and people make assumptions about whether I'm in a wheelchair for other reasons or because of the asthma or even because of my weight, which, shocker, isn't actually a factor. I have a few other minor conditions. I have sleep apnea, which means I use a CPAP at night, and that's done wonders for me, and it also helps my asthma, so it's kind of like the side effect that's a good one. I have also got depression and anxiety, both of which have controlled my life for a number of years, and both of which are heavily medicated. I have dealt with depression for the majority of my life. When I became disabled, it became obvious that I needed some help with medication wise. I also see a therapist, and I cannot advocate enough for getting treated and getting to the point where you are feeling better in yourself. I take a myriad of pills every week, and they all do different things, but the idea is to get me as healthy as I can be. I'm never going to be completely healthy, and that's just a fact of life. But I do manage to do the things that I do because my conditions are as well controlled as they can be. Now, the brittle asthma is one that most people haven't heard of. It's sometimes called eosinophilic asthma, which is the type I have. And a lot of new treatments are coming into play, like the mepolizumab, the Mepo that I take every 4 weeks. And because of that, it's sort of like shone a light on the fact that severe asthma is not that common, but also has a big impact on the people it affects. The side effects for Mepo for me are worth it. I feel crap for 3 days, I feel nauseous, I have a horrible headache, and I generally just don't feel well. But the payoff is enough that I'm now off the pump that I was on for 15 years, because that was at the time the new drug to control the condition I had, and even then it didn't really control it that well. I was still in and out of hospital, in and out of flares and exacerbations and stuff like that. So basically that's it. That's what's wrong with me. I know some people are going to be curious no matter what. I know that I could sit here and explain it 300 times, and some people are still going to want to know more. The reason I share the health side in the Life of Joe videos is because it's part of my process. It's part of what I've managed to do with writing. Obviously has an effect on what I haven't managed to do because of my health. It's a process that I choose to do because I wanted to be more transparent with you guys. It's also a process I do because I wanted to shine a light on the fact that yes, I'm disabled, I'm a chronically ill author, and I'm doing pretty good. It's not to be an inspiration to people. I don't want pity. I don't want people to sit there and go, wow, she did all that despite. No, that's just not how it goes. It's about being real. It's about being honest. It's about being open and upfront. But yet there are some parts of my condition that I won't share, and there are some symptoms that I won't share, and there are some days when I won't be on Insta stories or YouTube or anything, and that's completely okay. My health is my health. I choose to share what I do, but the continual questions about why I take this and what's that for and what's the oxygen for are kind of getting to the point where you just kind of feel like it's not really any of your business. And I know the majority of people asking mean no harm by it, they're just generally curious, and that's okay. But constantly asking and getting it from all sides of what's wrong with you and all the rest of it drains you. And so yeah, that's why I wanted to make this video. Now if you have any questions that aren't literally what I just explained, you are more than welcome to approach me, but I reserve the right to not answer some if they're too personal. So that's all I've got time for today. If you want to get in touch with me, you can comment or subscribe. I post new videos on Thursdays, and sometimes I post them on Sundays too. Or you can find me on Facebook, on Goodreads, on Tumblr, on Twitter. My books are available everywhere. And don't forget to check out Darker 2018, where I'll be signing books this October. All the links to which are listed below. Thanks for watching. Bye.